Hi, I'm James.
And I'm Gene. Welcome, moto fans, to Motoblock, a motocross show brought to you here in the Mid-South by MotoXStudios.com.
We're going to be talking about the pro scene.
We're going to be talking about the local scene,
Tech tips,
safety tips, and special events, right all here on this edition of Motoblock. So James, let's talk a little bit about the pro scene right now, the Supercross season that just ended.
Kevin Windham went out with a bang, didn't he, Gene?
Yeah. Kevin had perhaps one of his best years yet in the Supercross series, and I'm not sure how many races he won. I know it was 3 or 4 races, but you know, I tell you, we've never been more excited for a season here lately, and then to see Kevin have a chance at winning the championship, it was just really exhilarating. And,
yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I was so excited for him to think that he was, you know, would probably get his first championship but Chad Reed, man, he rode an awesome race. And
no doubt, Chad Reed did ride a good race, and Kevin, you know, I tell you, if had not Ricky Carmichael been in the picture, then there would probably be a different GOAT. Kevin Windham has finished second in the Supercross series a record 7 times. That is just, you know, that's real tough. But then again, you know, he's had a great career, and you know, a lot of you out there are probably thinking he's going to carry that momentum right over into the outdoors. Well, Kevin's not riding the outdoor season this year. He's elected to do a few select events. We're certainly disappointed that we won't get to see him have a good run at the championship like he always does. But hey, you know what? We're excited for Kevin. His family is growing, and Kevin, if you're out there watching this, congrats on a great year, and we certainly can't wait to see what comes in next year's Supercross.
oh yeah, Gene, I'm with you on all that. I mean, he rode his heart out this year, and man, I know that his whole fan base, including myself, was pulling for him. You know, I mean, it was just an awesome year for him, and then it went down to the wire. You know, I mean, but back to this outdoor, he's only going to ride some select events. And do you know anything or what events they are?
Well, no, I don't know which ones they are yet. I do know that, you know, obviously Kevin has a few tracks that he considers his favorite tracks, and I don't think Southwick will be one of them. Kevin's always made it known that he's never really cared for that track too much, even though he always does real well. And that goes to show you how great a rider he really is. But nonetheless, we'll take Kevin wherever we can get him. Whatever track he's going to ride, you can bet we'll be tuned in. And we'll let you know here on Motoblock what those races will be as soon as we know. There's been some other good scoop coming out. You know, it's kind of the silly season, as they call it. In between the Supercross and the outdoor motocross, a lot of guys are signing contracts and getting geared up for who they're going to ride for in the upcoming season. And James, you know, there's some funny things going on.
Yeah, Gene, I heard a little bit about that too. And you know, I don't have the inside scoop and the connections you do, and I'm sure you could enlighten us to some of the stuff that you've heard. I mean, I got it from him. So. I've heard rumors that some riders are going to be going from green to yellow and from blue to yellow, and
yeah.
What you've heard, Gene?
Well, this is what I've heard. I've heard that Chad Reed's been talking to Suzuki, so you know, don't know if that's going to happen. There was even a rumor he was out at Paris Raceway this weekend riding. I saw Racer X's video of Nick Way and those guys, but they didn't show Chad Reed riding. And then there's Bubba. Everybody knows Bubba's been raised on Kawasaki's, you know.
Yeah, I mean, ever since his amateur career and all through his Loretta Lynn career, he was on the Kawasaki's, you know.
Yep, well, you know, and just the way these manufacturers and industry folk treat riders, well, it goes both ways. Bubba's in a good negotiating situation. He's in a position of leverage, and so, you know, he and his family are smart to see what their value is out there. So if Bubba's talking to somebody else, you know, we just can't wait to find out who he's riding for, but we know he's going to be riding for someone.
Now towards the end of the Supercross season, they had quite a few riders. Let's talk about Davey Millsap. I know Honda was expecting a lot from this young man, and he really, to me, I thought he had a pretty good year. What's your thoughts on that, Gene?
James, I couldn't agree with you more. Davey Millsap's had a solid year. He had 2 podiums. Excuse me. He had a win this year at Atlanta, and he had 7 podiums, and I believe he might have had 2 wins this year.
I think he won Seattle, didn't he?
Yes, he won 2 races.
Seattle? Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, he's had a great year. You're right. 7 podiums, 2 wins. You know, and it's not his rookie season in the big bike class, but it's his first full season. So Davey Millsap's had a great ride. I doubt very seriously Honda's going to let Davey go.
I agree with you, Gene.
Hey, hats off to all of those guys. Alessi's doing real well. He's won a few of the local races in California there. Glen Helen last week, he won some tune-up race. But, speaking of Honda and Davey Millsaps, Andrew Short, from what I understand, Andrew Short has not been offered anything yet from Honda. And, and just in Gene's opinion, I really think that'd be a mistake on Honda's part, because Andrew Short represents Honda in many ways, not just with showing, wins and being on the podium. He has been on the podium a lot this year. But Andrew Short is about as good as it gets when it comes as far as representing the sport for the younger kids and the kids coming up. So I hope Andrew Short gets something lined up pretty quick.
Outdoor Nationals, who do you think's going to take it this year, Gene?
Well, James, I think, pardon the pun, James. I think James Stewart's probably going to tear into this thing and run away with it. I mean, he's really, no one has shown any kind of a speed yet with Chad and Kevin, really, that would, present itself as a challenger, a serious challenger for James. But hey, you know what? Motocross is a tough sport, and as we've seen in the last year or so, even James Stewart has seen, even as great as he is, you can't avoid injury sometimes.
No.
And I think Kevin, if anybody has learned how important every single point in every race is, Chad Reed and Kevin Windham certainly could tell you all about that in the last 2 years. What about some of our local riders on the pro level? Matt Lemoyne. And Matt is just doing fantastic. I was watching the Las Vegas race the other day, and I'm just really impressed with where he's come along.
I mean, and once again, there's another one that we were fortunate enough, Gene. I know you remember the days at Down South and stuff, watching this kid out there on that KX60, that kid being Matt Lemoyne, and watching him race out there, and man, he was blistering fast back then. And I tell you what. Speaking of it, the Lemoynes are watching. I sure miss y'all, man. I used to enjoy having the talks with y'all in the pit areas and stuff. But anyways. Yeah,
the Lemoyne family's a great family. We enjoyed. We go way back watching that young boy race at Kentwood many years ago. MotoXStudios.com has got archives of this young boy racing when he was on 50s and 60s. And so, hey, stay tuned. You may see some of that in an upcoming show. You know what? I think we'll can expect more things out of Matt Lemoyne next year.
Oh, no doubt, man. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does next year.
There's just so many great stories that come out of motocross from this area. Lance Vincent.
There's another hot item right there, buddy.
Yeah, that's a whole show right there. We got some good scoop for you. James, there's just so many great things we can talk about on Motoblock here for motocross. As you can see, we're having fun with this. But at any rate, call us. Call us here at MotoXStudios.com or email us at MotoXStudios.com if you have any questions or comments regarding the show. We would love to hear them from you. Motoblock, give us a shout.